Welcome back to MLM, folks, and to the third part of our USS Enterprise build. We've already primed our parts, so unusually this time we're moving straight to the workshop, and we're going to be doing a bit of top coating. And I've chosen to use BMW Space Grey Metallic. So we've primed it. We're going to give it a coat of this space grey metallic, and then we're going to top it off with some pearlescent white to give it that white grey metallic look. So let's do a few of these pieces, and then we'll come back later and do some of the pearlescent. So let's crack on. So there we go, a few more parts to do. I'll get them in, and then we'll give them a second coat of the space grey. It's just about enough to do this thing, and then we'll be going with the pearlescent white. So I'll get the rest of them done, and then next time we come back it'll be the second colour. So catch you in a few. Cheers. Welcome back, folks, to this build update, and we've had a part delivered, and it is our Deflector Array. It's a 3D printed reproduction part. A little rough, but it'll do the job for what we want. I'm not going to leave it looking like this, so I'm going to nip out to the workshop and give it a coat of primer, and then once it's dry I'll show you what we're going to do with it. So I'll catch you in a few. Cheers. So welcome back, folks, to another little build update, and here we are with our Deflector Array. And as you can see, I've given it a coat of primer, and what we're going to be using to paint this with is Tamiya XF6 copper. So let's give it a coat and see what it's going to look like. So we'll give that piece, I don't know, about half an hour, and we'll come back and give it another coat, and then be all ready for the reassembly when we get round to doing that. There we go, folks, that's the idea behind what we're going to do with the Deflector Array. So we'll catch you in the next build update. Cheers. Okay, welcome back folks to this build update that could probably go horribly wrong. However, we're going to give this a go. So our parts have all been sprayed. It's been an atrocious day weather-wise, so I did the pearlescent white over the top of the space grey. Probably not as white as I would like it to be, but this is a tribute more than an accurate depiction of the studio model. This is my version, bit of playing about. So where do we start? Well, we'll put the spring back in to the top of the saucer section. And this is all going to go off screen, but basically, I'll take that off again. You've got two studs. The spring mounts on the stud with the hole in it, and you lever it against the solid stud and just bend it back into place. Push it down so it's in place, and there we go. Right, so next we can drop our missile control system, loader and launcher, back into place. Drop our lid, or top section of the dish, and locate the trigger mechanism. And on this part we can then turn that over whilst holding it in place, obviously. Told it could all go horribly wrong. Put it back on its mount. Shouldn't have took it out of the space dock, really, should I? There we go. Right, this time we'll hold it in place. Put in our first washer. Our first washer being the spring washer. Should we get that right? Then the secondary washer. And finally the screw to hold it all in place. Like so. And she still turns, so happy with that. You can see underneath the dish going round, the launcher going round, sorry. Okay, so far so good. We'll put that back down. Next, we'll mount our deflector array back into the bottom of the hull, and it's got a square lug that locates itself in the hull, and you just have to gently ease it in. Like so, and once it's in, push down, making sure that you've got the narrow section fitting into the slot. Now, so far so good. As I said before, what are we missing? The engine mounts. Now what I'm not going to do at this point is put the engines completely together, because I've still got some work to do. However, these should hold in place. That's one. And I've done some work on the second one, which I'll show you momentarily. And that's two. Now we can turn that upside down for a moment. Drop it into our hull section, and I think with the amount of extra layers of paint it's had, it'll probably hold it more, it'll be more sturdy than it was before. So that's that. We can then drop in our door retainer. Like so. Then we can put our doors in. Just hold one side while you fit the other side, basically, I think is the preferred method. Like so. And then finally the bottom of the hull, and that will now screw in place. Like so. And there she sits. I'd love it to be a bit more of a tighter fit, but these models are of an age. So I've got accents to do now. So I have done some accents on this nacelle. You can see there's various shades of grey. I've also had delivered the stickers. Now I'm still undecided as to whether to put these stickers on or create some decals using the, or create some decals using these as a template. I've also got the caps to fit in, and I'm still waiting for the shuttle to be delivered. But hopefully you can get a feeling for what it's looking like. I'm quite pleased with it. As I say, it's probably not as white as it should be. But by the time we've added the decals and we've painted up some of the windows, it'll add a bit more colour to it. And yeah, so that's where we are at the moment. Still plenty of work to do. Plenty of accents. Decals or stickers, undecided. So pretty pleased with how it's going so far. Let's put it back into space dock. And there we go. So the next time we catch up, we'll see if we've had the shuttle delivered. We'll also do some accents, and we may be able to fit the end caps. I'm not sure whether I want to spray them, respray them, and add a bit of colour to them. But I'd like to get. They don't come with a cap. It's quite a basic model. Let's be fair. It's not an accurate depiction. So just grab these. Move that to one side for a moment. And those before I lose anything else. I'd like to find some clear caps to go over here, and what I would do is to spray these red, put some accents in between the fins, and then some clear orange on a cap, but I've got to find a cap that will sit nicely over there. Also, it's almost like I'm trying to make it into the Revell model. On the Revell model, there's also two white domes that fit in the back of the engines. So I've got to come up with something to do that. So I'm going to be scouring shops for tubes and caps and goodness knows what to see if I can find something that's something like. So there we go then, guys. There's the update as to where we are. Quite a bit different from where we started. This metallic space grey, I'd be quite happy to use this on one of my normal car refreshes. To be fair, it's a lovely colour. I'm not sure that the white translucent, it does lighten it. It doesn't, sorry, not the white translucent, the white pearlescent. I don't think it was as whitening, for want of a better phrase, as I was hoping it was going to be. It certainly lightened it, and perhaps by adding the dark accents, it just brings it out a little bit more. So we'll catch up in the next part of this video with a bit of accenting, and whether or not we've chosen to create decals or we're going to put these stickers on. That is a clear sticker, by the way. That's just because the backing's still on it. Yeah, fairly happy with the progress, and we'll catch you in the next bit. Catch you soon. Cheers. Welcome back, folks, to another build update, and you find us adding some highlights to our USS Enterprise. And all I've got is a couple of old tins of enamel paint. I've got a white and a black, and I'm going around and just using the cocktail sticks to just grab a hold of it so I'm not touching any fresh paint. Yeah, so I'm going around and just selecting randomly windows to paint to give the illusion of light. So we'll do a couple. And if you wear glasses like me, I highly recommend getting some of these magnifiers. Of course, this is where it can get a bit hairy if you can't see very well. Because all it requires is just the slightest of touches with a cocktail stick. You don't want to go over the top. And there's a couple of white. And this is just a random choice, it's not done to any specific pattern. As I say, all you're doing is trying to create a bit of an illusion, really. Very therapeutic, but equally nerve-wracking. I don't possess the steadiest hand in the world. So there you go, that's the general idea. I've pretty much done the other side, like so, and we'll do under the dish as well, just for completion really. I'll put a white dome on the top, and there's a few more accents to do. I've still got the nacelles to colour, so I'm going to get the rest of this done off screen, but there's a bit of a quick build update as to where we are. So catch you in a few. Cheers. Welcome back folks to this final update, and here we are with our USS Enterprise. A couple of things of note I think before we proceed. It really is worth making, if you choose to do one of these models, a mount or a structure just to build off. You sometimes need an extra pair of hands, and this just acts as that extra pair of hands. So what have we done since the last build update? We've added the USS Enterprise sticker at the front. I chose to make decals for the sides and the pods, mainly because, and it was my own fault really, the stickers that I ordered were on a white background, and of course I've painted this with a metallic grey spray paint and it would have just shown up as white. Done a few more accents to the hull. All of the windows are now complete, and as long as this missile doesn't drop out, I've also added accents underneath. So there we go. Enjoyed doing this one. Been a long build, but probably the most documented one I've done. Didn't have to drill anything, thankfully. It was all just screwed together. It's not fitted perfectly together, but as I've said previously, these models are of an age and have took some stick. But I'm fairly pleased with how it's turned out. I think it's one of these models that you can revisit and just keep doing bits to. I'd like to, as I said, get some domes to go over these nacelle engines, and then paint them, but that might be something I come back to in the future. And as I mentioned before, some domes, white domes to go in the end. So can't think of anything else to say other than thank you Martin for inspiring me to do this. Oh yes, Martin did ask me, does it fire? Let's try and not take out the computer screen. That'll be a yes. Good fun firing these. I can't do it in slow motion, unfortunately. Yeah, there goes another one. I'll have to retrieve that. I'll put that back in. We'll lock it in place. The other thing I forgot to mention is that we've had the shuttle delivered. At some point I may paint that as well, but for now the model's back to being complete. I'm pleased with it, and we'll get it on the turntable and see what she looks like. So catch you in a few folks. Cheers. So here we go folks, the USS Enterprise Dinky No.358, all complete. It's my tribute or take on this model. I haven't done it as the original colours, not quite as white I feel as the studio version, But I think it's hard to select a colour because a lot of it's down to how the original model was lit in the studio. But I'm quite pleased how she's turned out. You've got to be prepared to spend some money on paints and 3D parts to get one of these. It probably cost me about 40 quid by the time it was all said and done. This will not be going on eBay. This is for my collection. If I can find somewhere to put it, because it's quite a substantial size. However, there we go. We'll get this one delivered down to MLM headquarters and get her put on the forecourt, ready for the customer's collection. So we'll catch you in a few. Cheers. So there we go, folks, down at MLM headquarters, and the Enterprise is on the forecourt, ready to be collected by a certain Captain James T. Kirk and the crew. As I said, I've enjoyed doing this one. Hopefully the next time around we'll be doing something a little bit smaller. I will be looking out for another model of this size of some sort. It's worth doing so that you can do a documented process of everything you do to a model. It's quite a bit of work involved, but it's an enjoyable task. And as you can see on the call out board, we're still doing the MLM Open Invitational for a sports themed vehicle. If you're interested in doing that, drop me a line. And thanks for all your support. Please follow us on the Facebook channel at Midlife Models, and please like and subscribe to Midlife Models on YouTube. As always, thanks for your support, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.